All right, so we're diving into some seriously weird dog behavior today.
Yeah.
We're talking about those things that make you wonder
Yeah.
if your dog is secretly a conspiracy theorist.
That's right. That's right.
Like maybe they think the mailman is a time traveler
Uh-huh.
or the vacuum cleaner is an alien invader,
It's
that kind of
a
stuff.
fun way to think about it for sure, but
Yeah,
it actually gets at something kind of important.
yeah,
Dogs don't see the world like we do. Their
exactly.
senses, their instincts, everything's different.
Yeah.
Even how they learn, it's all different.
Like with the mailman thing, why does my dog lose it?
Hmm.
Every single time that guy walks by, it's
Yeah.
like they think he's teleporting or something.
Well, think about it from their perspective. They're all about routines.
Okay.
Their whole world is predictable. Meal times, walks.
Yeah,
When you get home from work, it's all on a schedule.
yeah.
Then bam, here comes this mailman every day, like clockwork.
Right, right.
Totally throws a wrench in their system.
But hold on, shouldn't they be alert to strangers?
Of course.
Of course. I mean, I want my dog to protect the house,
Sure.
but how do I stop it from becoming like full-on aggression?
That's where training comes in. You got to use those instincts to your advantage.
Okay.
Teach them a quiet command. Reward them when they're calm around the mailman.
So I'm like retraining their fear response?
Exactly. You're replacing it with something more controlled.
So the routine becomes a training opportunity. That's pretty neat.
It is.
Speaking of routines being messed with, what about the vacuum cleaner?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that thing is loud and scary, even for us, right?
For sure.
But can you imagine what it sounds like to your dogs?
Oh, it's got to be a nightmare.
Their super hearing and all that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Amplified 100 times.
It's got to be like some monster roaring in their face.
It's no wonder they freak out.
No wonder they bark and run away. But sometimes they attack it.
Right.
Like they think it's alive or something.
Well, their senses are telling them it's a real threat.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how it moves so erratic.
Yeah.
Like some kind of alien creature with a mind of its own.
So what do I do? I can't exactly sit down and explain it to them.
No, but you could desensitize them to it.
Oh, okay.
Start slow.
Uh-huh.
Let them sniff it while it's off. Give treats.
Oh, okay.
Praise them for being calm.
Okay.
Then gradually introduce the sound.
Oh, okay.
Just for a few seconds at a time, keep rewarding them.
So basically teach them it's not an alien, just part of the house.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. What about squirrels? They seem harmless to us, but my dog acts like they're enemy spies, always on high alert.
Ah, you're seeing the prey drive in action.
The what?
Prey drive. Dogs were bred to chase small, fast-moving animals.
Oh.
It's in their DNA.
Okay. So they're not plotting, they just can't help themselves.
Exactly. Pure instinct.
Okay.
But knowing that you can give them outlets for that energy.
Yeah.
Games that mimic chasing, like
Right.
fetch or flirt poles,
Oh, so they can satisfy that instinct safely?
Yep, controlled environment.
Ooh, I thought my dog was just super paranoid about squirrels.
Yeah.
So speaking of trying to control instincts, let's talk leashes.
Mm.
You might think it's just for safety, but to your dog,
Yeah.
it could feel like a total loss of freedom.
It's true. You're on a walk, you want to explore, sniff everything,
Yeah.
and suddenly you're tethered, your movements are restricted.
Right, right.
Studies have shown that restrained dogs even have more stress hormones.
Wow. Seriously.
Yeah. So even though walks are good for them,
Yeah.
exercise, mental stimulation,
Yeah.
the leash itself can be stressful.
That's kind of sad.
It is,
Yeah.
especially if they haven't been trained properly.
Okay.
It's all about teaching them the leash isn't a punishment.
Okay.
It's a tool that lets them explore safely with you.
So finding that balance, their need to explore
Right.
and our need to keep them safe.
Exactly.
It's like we're speaking different languages.
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way.
And speaking of things that might get lost in translation,
Mm-hmm.
what about bath time? Most dogs I know hate it.
It's a classic.
What's going on there?
Well, imagine experiencing that with super sensitive smell and touch,
Okay.
the strong shampoo, slippery surfaces, someone rubbing you all over.
Whoa.
Totally overwhelming.
So it's not just the water, it's the whole sensory overload.
Exactly. Yeah. And they don't understand why it's happening.
Right.
It just adds to the fear.
Right.
Think about it. Forced confinement, weird smells, being manhandled.
Yeah.
You'd probably think it was an alien experiment too.
Yeah, I guess so. So how do we make it less traumatic?
You can't really explain it,
Yeah.
but you can make it more positive.
Okay.
Use dog shampoo. Their skin's different. Make sure the water is lukewarm.
Okay.
Introduce them gradually. Play with toys in the empty tub. Things like that.
So building positive associations, like with the vacuum.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. Now on to something dogs seem to understand better. Treats. We think we're rewarding them, but maybe it's a bribe.
Well, they're definitely master manipulators,
Yeah.
but it's more about communication.
Okay.
When you use treats, it's positive reinforcement.
Okay.
They learn that a specific action gets a specific reward.
So they're not thinking, I'm being bribed. It's
Right.
more like, if I sit, I get a treat. Awesome.
Exactly, and that builds trust.
Okay.
They know what to expect, feel safe and secure,
Okay.
but you got to be consistent with commands and rewards.
No mixed signals. Got it.
Right.
Okay. Now about something that really triggers my dog.
Mm.
The doorbell. Why the frenzy every time it rings?
Well, remember, they're super attuned to changes in their environment.
Okay.
That sudden sound is like an alarm bell. Something's happening, got to figure out what.
So it's not just excitement about visitors.
It's more than that.
Okay.
It's like they think it's some kind of portal,
Right.
and they don't know what's going to come through.
Yeah.
Plus, their protective instincts kick in. They're guardians of the home. Any arrival's a potential threat. And for most dogs, the doorbell does mean strangers coming,
Okay.
which can be scary, especially if they're not socialized.
So that's the barking, the running around.
Yeah.
But how do I teach them to chill out?
You can teach them a new association.
Okay.
Instead of meltdown, make it a cue for something positive.
Like what?
A treat, a special toy, something like that. Start by playing a doorbell sound on your phone, low volume.
Okay.
Then reward them for staying calm.
Got it.
Gradually increase the volume, work up to the real doorbell.
So I'm hacking their system,
In a way, yeah,
replacing fear with good stuff. That's pretty cool.
it is.
Now, speaking of things that might make a dog suspicious, cats. They always seem to be up to something, don't they?
From a dog's point of view, they're pretty puzzling.
Yeah.
Their body language is subtle.
Yeah.
They communicate silently. They seem to get away with everything.
Exactly. Lounging on furniture, knocking things over, acting like they own the place.
It's no wonder dogs think they're in some secret society.
Right. Like they're pulling the strings from the shadows.
That's funny.
But it does highlight how differently dogs and cats see the world.
For sure.
They speak different languages, leading to misunderstandings.
Definitely.
So even if the cats are the Illuminati thing is joke,
Yeah.
it's a reminder that we need to understand both species
Right.
to create a peaceful multi-pet home.
It's so important.
Each animal has its own needs, its own way of communicating, its own
Yeah.
way of showing love,
We got it.
and it's our job to learn that.
And create a good environment for everyone.
Where everyone feels safe and respected.
Exactly.
Good advice. Now, on to something that can be pure joy or terror, car rides. Why do some dogs love them and others dread them?
Well, imagine being stuck in a moving box.
Okay.
Weird smells, sounds, no control over where you're going.
Yeah.
For some dogs, that's anxiety city.
Yeah.
And if they get car sick, it's even worse.
I've seen those dogs, they tremble at the sight of car keys.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're going to some canine black site or something.
It's not that extreme.
Yeah.
But the car often does take them to stressful places.
Like where?
The vet, the groomer, you know.
Oh, right.
So it makes sense they have negative associations.
So how do we make it better? Sometimes you can't avoid car rides.
You're right.
You got to do it.
Desensitization and counter-conditioning are key.
Okay, what's that?
Start with letting them sit in the parked car, engine off,
Okay.
give treats, praise for staying calm,
Okay.
then short rides, around the block, more rewards.
Got it.
The goal is to make the car a good place, not scary.
So baby steps, positive reinforcement. Got it.
That's it.
Okay, now for the ultimate canine mystery. The refrigerator. Why are they so obsessed with it?
It's like they think it holds the secrets of the universe. Remember, they smell the world first.
Yeah.
And the fridge is a giant concentrated source of deliciousness. So they sniff around, trying to figure out how to get in.
It's like a locked vault of tasty treasures.
That's a good way to put it.
So it's not just the food. It's the smell, the mystery.
Yeah, the anticipation.
They see us going there all the time, opening it up, taking out delicious stuff.
It's like a magic trick for them.
And they're never allowed in on it.
Right.
Makes it even more mysterious.
It's the forbidden zone.
Full of unfulfilled desires. It's like we're dangling this amazing world in front of them,
Right.
but they can't experience it.
It's no wonder they come up with theories about what's in there.
Yeah, seriously.
They're trying to make sense of it all
Right.
in their own way.
It's fascinating, really.
It is.
When you think about it.
It is.
They're just trying to understand us.
Trying to understand their world, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
These dogs, I tell you.
They keep us on our toes.
They do.
That's for sure.
So we've talked about mailmen, Vacuum cleaners, squirrels, leashes, baths, treats, doorbells, cats,
Wow, we covered a lot.
car rides, refrigerators, even.
A whole world of dog mysteries.
It is. What stands out to you as the most insightful thing we learned?
That's a good question. I think it's realizing
Yeah.
that these silly behaviors actually come from instincts
Oh, yeah.
and their senses. We try to make dogs like little humans,
We do.
but they're not.
No.
Their world is way more immediate, driven by senses and instinct.
Right. So when we try to get their conspiracy theories,
Yeah,
we're seeing how they see the world,
exactly.
which is totally different from ours.
There really is.
Like learning a new language.
That's a great analogy.
And that's the key, right?
It is.
Understanding how they experience things makes us better.
Everything.
Better communicators, trainers, companions.
Yeah, all of it.
It's like building a bridge between our worlds.
I like that.
Replacing fear and confusion with trust.
That's what it's all about.
That's what makes this whole thing so rewarding.
It really is.
It's not just about solving puzzles. It's about connecting with these amazing creatures.
Who enrich our lives so much.
Absolutely. So if our listeners could take away one big idea, what would it be?
Pay attention. Observe your dog.
Okay.
Try to see the world through their eyes.
Like really see it.
Even if it means embracing those conspiracy theories.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be surprised by what you find.
That's great advice. On that note, we're wrapping up this canine adventure.
Okay.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into dog behavior.
That's been fun.
And until next time, keep those tails wagging.
And those conspiracy theories coming.
Because who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they're onto something.
Maybe they are. Who knows?
We'll never really know.
That's the fun of it.
It is.
The mystery continues.
It does indeed.
Our canine companions always keeping us guessing.
That's for sure. And that's why we love them.
Absolutely. Their unique perspective on the world.
It's something special.
It is. We can learn a lot from them
We can.
if we just take the time to listen.
And observe. All right. That's it for today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Likewise. Looking forward to our next deep dive.
Me too. And to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
keep exploring those canine mysteries.
And keep those questions coming.
We'll be back soon with more insights and adventures.
Can't wait.
All right, signing off.
See you next time.
Bye for now. It's about finding that balance, you know, their need to explore and our need to keep them safe.
Right.
It's like sometimes it's like we're speaking two totally different languages, you know?
Yeah, sometimes it feels that way.
Speaking of things that might get lost in translation,
Uh-huh.
what about bath time? Like most dogs I know
Yeah.
are not exactly thrilled about
It's a climb.
getting soaked and scrubbed, you know?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, imagine experiencing all of that, but with like super sensitive smell and touch. You know, the strong shampoo, the slippery surfaces rubbing you all over. I mean, it would be totally overwhelming.
So it's not just that they hate water,
Right.
it's the whole
It's every
sensory overload that freaks them out.
Exactly. And on top of that, they don't understand why it's happening.
Right.
So it just adds to the fear.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Forced confinement, weird smells, being manhandled.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd probably think it was an alien experiment too.
Yeah, I guess I would, yeah. So how do we, how do we make it less traumatic? I mean, I can't just explain to them that it's for their own good, you know?
No, you can't really explain it to them like that.
Yeah.
But you can make it more positive.
Okay, yeah. How?
Like, use a shampoo that's made for dogs.
Okay.
Their skin is different than ours.
Okay.
Make sure the water is lukewarm, not too hot, not too cold.
Okay.
And introduce them to the bath gradually. Like maybe start with just playing with toys in an empty tub.
So just kind of easing them into it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Building those positive associations, just like with the vacuum cleaner.
Right. Same idea.
Okay, cool. Now let's move on to something that I think dogs seem to understand a little better, I think. Treats, you know?
Yeah.
We think we're rewarding them for good behavior. But is it possible that, you know, from their point of view,
Yeah.
that they see it as a bribe?
Well, I mean, they're definitely master manipulators.
Yeah, they are.
But it's more about communication, clear communication.
Okay.
So when you use treats in training, you're using what's called positive reinforcement.
Okay.
And this means the dog learns that this particular action will get this particular reward.
Okay.
So it's very clear for them. It's
Okay.
not like, oh, they're bribing me. It's like, if I sit, I get a treat. This is awesome.
Right. It's cause and effect.
Exactly, exactly. And that
Yeah.
consistency builds trust.
Okay.
They know what to expect, and that makes them feel safe and secure.
So no mixed signals. If I give a treat for,
Yeah.
like, no reason?
Yeah,
It
random.
just undermines the whole system.
Right. It could definitely confuse them.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now I'm curious about something that, like, really seems to trigger my dog's, like, inner conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
And that's the doorbell.
The doorbell, yeah.
Like, what is it about that sound that sends them into, like,
A frenzy.
the total frenzy every single time?
Well, remember, dogs are incredibly attuned to changes in their environment.
Okay.
So that sudden, sharp sound of the doorbell
Right?
is like an alarm bell going off in their head. Like something is happening,
Yeah.
and they need to figure out what it is immediately.
So it's not just excitement about potential visitors.
It could be that, but it's almost like they think the doorbell is some kind of portal, you know?
Right.
And they don't know what's going to come through it.
Yeah, it's like the unknown, the mystery of it.
Right. And you also have to remember their protective instincts are kicking in too.
Okay.
They see themselves as guardians of the home. So any unknown arrival is a potential threat.
Right.
And let's face it,
Yeah.
for most dogs, the doorbell often does signal the arrival of strangers,
Okay.
which can be anxiety-inducing, especially if they haven't been properly socialized.
Okay, so that explains the barking, the running around.
Right, that frantic energy.
But how do I teach my dog to chill out when the doorbell rings? I mean, it's like their alarm bells are permanently set to panic mode, you know?
It can definitely feel that way, yeah. But you can actually teach them a new association.
Okay.
Instead of letting the doorbell trigger a meltdown, make it a cue for something positive.
Okay, like what kind of thing?
Like, getting a treat or a special toy.
Okay.
You could start by just, like, ringing a doorbell sound on your phone at a low volume,
Okay.
and then reward your dog for staying calm.
Okay.
And then gradually increase the volume and work your way up to the real doorbell.
So I'm basically hacking their system, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of rewiring their response.
Replacing the fear with a positive expectation.
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It can really make a difference.
Okay, now speaking of things that might trigger a dog's suspicion, let's talk about cats.
Ah, cats.
They always seem to be up to something, don't they?
They really do.
Like, they have their own agenda going on.
From a dog's perspective,
Yeah.
cats can be pretty puzzling creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, their body language is very subtle.
Yeah.
Their communication is often silent.
Mm.
And they seem to have this uncanny ability to get away with things that dogs would never even dream of attempting.
Exactly. It's like they can get away with murder, basically.
Yeah, in a dog's eyes.
It's true.
They're breaking all the rules.
Like lounging on the furniture, knocking things off shelves, generally acting like they rule the roost, you know?
Right. Totally nonchalant.
So it's no wonder some dogs start to develop, like, these conspiracy theories about cats being part of some secret society.
Yeah, like the feline Illuminati.
Yeah, like they're pulling strings from the shadows.
Right, controlling everything.
Exactly.
It's a funny thought.
It is.
But, it does highlight the fact that dogs and cats have very different ways of interacting with the world. They're speaking different languages.
Yeah.
And that can lead to misunderstandings, for sure.
So while we might find the whole, cats are the Illuminati thing funny.
Yeah, it's a good chuckle.
It's actually a good reminder that, as owners, we need to understand both species.
Yes, absolutely.
To create a peaceful,
multi-species home.
multi-pet, multi-species household, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely.
Each animal has its own needs.
Right.
Its own communication style.
Yeah.
Its own way of showing affection.
Right.
And it's our job to learn those nuances.
Yeah.
And create an environment where everyone feels safe and respected.
Okay. Good advice. Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something that can be, either a source of, like, pure joy or sheer terror for dogs. I'm talking about car rides.
Car rides.
What makes some dogs, like, love them and others absolutely dread them?
Well, imagine being confined to a small moving space.
Okay.
You're bombarded with unfamiliar smells and sounds.
Right.
And you have no control over where you're going.
Right.
So for some dogs, that's like a recipe for anxiety.
Yeah.
And then if they experience motion sickness on top of that, it just adds another layer of discomfort.
Right.
So it can be a really unpleasant experience.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those dogs who, like, start trembling at the mere sight of the car keys.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they think they're being taken to some, like, canine black site or something.
Right, like they're being abducted.
It's really sad to see.
It is. It's definitely stressful for them.
Yeah, but it's not that extreme, right? I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
You are, but,
Um,
it's understandable why they might feel that way.
yeah.
Because often the car does lead to places that are stressful for dogs,
Oh, yeah.
like the vet
The vet.
or the groomer.
Right, right.
You know?
Places they don't necessarily love to go.
Yeah, not their favorite destinations.
Okay, so it makes sense that they might develop like this negative association
Exactly.
with car rides in general.
Yeah.
So how do we how do we make it a more positive experience? I mean, sometimes car rides are just unavoidable.
They are. You can't always avoid them.
Right.
So desensitization and counter conditioning are really key here.
Okay, and remind me what that is again.
Sure. So basically,
Yeah.
you start by just letting your dog sit in the parked car
Okay.
with the engine off,
Okay.
giving them treats and praise for staying calm.
Okay.
And then you gradually progress to short rides around the block.
Okay.
Again, rewarding good behavior.
Got it.
The goal is to create a positive association with the car,
Okay.
so it's no longer seen as a scary place.
So it's baby steps and positive reinforcement.
That's it.
Got it.
Yeah, consistency is key.
Okay, now let's talk about like the ultimate source of canine mystery and intrigue, and that
Okay.
is
Let me guess.
the refrigerator.
The refrigerator, of course.
Why are dogs so obsessed with that thing? It's
Yeah.
like they think it holds the secrets of the universe or something.
I mean, remember, dogs experience the world primarily through their sense of smell.
Right.
And the refrigerator is like this giant, concentrated source of everything they find delicious and desirable.
Right.
So it's no wonder they spend so much time sniffing around it, trying to figure out how to crack the code
Right.
and gain access to its hidden treasures.
It's like a locked vault of tasty treasures.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
So it's not just the food itself,
Well,
it's the smell,
The smell.
the mystery, the anticipation.
Right, they see us going to the fridge multiple times a day,
Right.
opening it up,
Rummaging around.
rummaging around.
And then emerging with something delicious.
Right, it's like a magic trick to them.
It really is.
Like, where did that come from?
And because they're not usually allowed to partake in those culinary delights.
Right, they just have to watch.
Why?
It only adds to the mystique.
Right.
It's like this forbidden zone, a source of endless fascination
Right.
and unfulfilled desires.
It's like we're dangling this amazing, smelly world right in front of their noses.
Exactly.
So they can't fully experience it.
It's so close yet so far.
No wonder they come up with all sorts of theories about what's going on in there.
Yeah, they're trying to make sense of it
Yeah.
in their own way.
Yeah, it's like we're torturing them with deliciousness.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, right?
Yeah, we have.
I mean, we've talked about mailmen and vacuum cleaners,
Uh-huh.
squirrels, leashes, baths, treats,
Doorbells, cats.
car rides, refrigerators.
It's like a whole dog conspiracy theory universe out there.
It is. For you, what stands out as like the most insightful or surprising thing we've kind of uncovered here?
I think for me, it's realizing that those behaviors that seem so silly to us,
Yeah.
they're actually rooted in real instincts,
Right.
and their senses, the way they experience the world.
We tend to kind of anthropomorphize dogs, right? We
Right.
give them human motivations and thoughts,
Yeah, like they're thinking the same way we are.
and they're not.
But they're not. Their world is so much more immediate.
Right.
It's all about their senses, their instincts in the moment.
So when we talk about these conspiracy theories, it's like a window
Yeah, it's a glimpse into how they see things.
into their world.
It's just so different from ours.
totally different.
Like learning a whole new language,
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the key takeaway here, right?
I think so.
When we understand their world, we can be better
At everything.
at communicating with them, training them.
Companions.
Better companions. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're building a bridge
I like
between our two worlds.
replacing fear and confusion with trust.
And understanding. Yeah,
Yeah.
and understanding.
And that's what makes, spending time with dogs.
So rewarding.
It really is. It's not just about, solving their little behavioral puzzles.
Right.
It's about deepening that connection with these amazing creatures.
Who truly, truly enrich our lives.
They do in so many ways.
So if our listeners could take away one big idea from all of this,
Okay.
what would it be?
Pay attention. Observe your dog.
Hmm.
See the world through their eyes, even if that means, getting into those conspiracy theories a little bit.
Embracing the weirdness, yeah.
Embrace the weirdness. You might be surprised what you discover.
I love that. That's great advice.
Thanks.
On that note, we're gonna wrap up this canine adventure, this exploration into the dog brain.
Sounds good.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into the fascinating and often hilarious
Yeah.
world of dog behavior.
It's always an adventure.
It is.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep those tails wagging, and
Keep those conspiracy theories coming.
because who knows, maybe they're onto something.
Maybe they are. We'll never know for sure.
We'll never know.
But that's the beauty of it, right?
The mystery continues.
Exactly.
Our canine companions, always keeping us guessing.
Always a step ahead.
And that's why we love them.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, that's it for today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
Likewise. Looking forward to our next deep dive.
Me too. And to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
keep exploring those canine mysteries and keep those questions coming.
We'll do our best to answer them.
We'll be back soon with more insights and adventures in the world of dogs.
Can't wait.
All right, signing off.
See you next time.
Bye for now.